They say entitlement isn't always loud. Sometimes it walks into the room wearing expensive perfume, oversized sunglasses, and a smile that knows it can get away with anything. And some people don't just speak entitlement, they sharpen it into a weapon. But when a woman tried to destroy a young waitress's livelihood with a lie she invented on the spot, she didn't know one thing: the walls were listening. And so was karma. The lunch rush at Brookmont Diner had a steady pulse to it. The kind that gave the place life. Orders being called out, servers weaving between tables, the sizzle from the open kitchen drifting into the dining area, and pop music humming above the chatter. For 24-year-old Lila Moreno, that hum, that rhythm, that chaos, it was familiar. It kept her going. Lila wasn't just working a job. She was holding her family together by sheer will. Her younger brother, Mateo, had been a star soccer player until an accident left him with a severe leg injury. Medical bills stacked up fast. Their mother worked 2 jobs already. Their father had left years ago. So Lila stepped up. Double shifts. No days off. Saving everything she could. She carried the weight quietly, smiling through exhaustion because it was the only way forward. Standing in the middle of the bustling diner, she tied her brown curls into a loose ponytail and pushed through the exhaustion for another long day. And then the glass door swung open. The energy shifted immediately. A woman strutted in with the confidence of someone who believed the world should roll out a velvet carpet for her. Her heels clicked sharply on the floor. Her platinum blonde bob gleamed under the lights. Her sunglasses were so large they covered half her face, and her handbag looked like it cost more than Lila's rent. Her name was Camille Hardwick, though most people in customer service jobs had their own unofficial nickname for her, a Karen. When Camille scanned the room, she didn't look for a seat. She looked for a target. Someone to unload her dissatisfaction onto. And her gaze landed on Lila. She lifted a single manicured finger and snapped. Not politely waved. Snapped. A few customers glanced up. Lila felt her stomach drop, but she plastered on her warmest smile and walked over. "Hi there, welcome to Brookmont Diner," she said gently. "What can I get started for you?" "Water," Camille said without lifting her head. "Room temperature. No ice. And don't take long. I'm in a hurry." Lila nodded. "Of course." She returned with the water in under half a minute, placing it carefully on the table. Camille picked up the glass, sniffed it, and her expression darkened like she was performing for an invisible audience. "This is room temperature?" "Yes, ma'am. Straight from the filtration system. It doesn't get chilled unless." "I can taste the chill," Camille said, her lip curling. "Bring another. And try not to mess it up this time." Lila blinked. "Yes, ma'am." She brought a second glass. Then Camille ordered avocado toast with the most complicated list of modifications Lila had ever heard. No pepper. No seeds. No red tomato, only yellow. Eggs poached exactly medium soft. Toast crunchy but not too crunchy. And Camille made Lila repeat it word for word. When the food came out, perfectly done, Camille inspected it like she was preparing to fail it on purpose. She held up the toast to the light, turning it like a jeweler examining a diamond. "There," she whispered triumphantly. "An imperfection." Lila leaned closer. "What imperfection?" Camille scraped her nail along a single crumb. "This crumb means this wasn't made fresh. It came straight from the wrong." Camille snapped, loud enough that the diner fell quiet. "Bring your manager." Lila swallowed. "Yes, ma'am." Evan, the manager, approached the table with calm professionalism. He was in his mid-30s, tall, kind-eyed, and one of the few people in the world who could diffuse almost any situation. Almost. Camille launched into a tirade. "Your waitress is incompetent. She ruined my meal twice. She's slow, rude, careless, and disrespectful. Fire her." Lila's breath caught in her throat. She felt her hands start to shake. Evan held his ground. "Lila is one of our most reliable employees. I'm sure we can." "So now I'm a liar?" Camille shrieked. "Fire her or I'll ruin this place online. I have influence in this town." It wasn't a complaint. It was a threat. The digital age gave people a new weapon: reviews. A bad one from someone loud enough could destroy a small business. Camille knew that, and she used it like a blade. Evan took a slow breath. "I'll review the situation thoroughly. For now, your meal is on the house." Camille smirked, believing she'd won. Evan guided Lila into the back room. The second the door closed, Lila's composure cracked. Tears welled in her eyes before she could stop them. "I swear I didn't do anything wrong. I followed her order exactly." "I know," Evan said gently. "You're not in trouble. People like her. They're not looking for good service. They're looking for someone to bully. I'm going to talk to her again. Stay back here for a few minutes. Lila nodded, wiping her eyes. She took a few deep breaths, then went to refill condiments in the supply hall to keep herself busy. She hated being emotional at work. She needed this job. Meanwhile, Camille sat at her table alone, tapping her nails on the surface like she was thinking about her next move. Her eyes scanned the room again, but this time there was something calculated behind them. She reached into her purse, pulled out a small black pill, looked around. No one was watching. Then she crushed it between her fingers, letting the powder fall into her avocado toast. She used her fork to blend it in carefully, meticulously, making sure it disappeared into the food. Then she waited, and waited, and suddenly, she shrieked loud enough to shake the building. "Oh my God!" Evan rushed out immediately. "What happened?" "There was a pill in my food," Camille cried, holding up the plate for attention. "That waitress must have put it there to get revenge on me. She tried to poison me." The diner froze. Every customer stared. Phones were lifted. Recording began. Lila, who just stepped out of the hallway with a tray of napkins, felt her heart stop. Her legs turned numb. She couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Evan's face twisted with shock. "That's impossible. No one here would." "She did," Camille wailed. "I want her fired. Arrested. I'm calling the police right now." She stormed out of the diner with her phone already pressed to her ear, her voice shaking with fake panic as she told the dispatcher she was the victim of attempted poisoning. Lila stood frozen, tears filling her eyes. Her life, her job, her brother's medical bills, everything could fall apart because of a stranger's lie. But Camille didn't know one thing. Brookmont Diner had installed a new security system just 1 month earlier. High-definition cameras, audio detection, microphones at every table. It was all printed on the door, and the menu, and the counter. 3 times. The walls had seen everything. Evan didn't waste a second. He raced to the back office, pulled up the footage and scrubbed back through the recording. There it was, clear as daylight. Camille reaching into her purse, pulling out the pill, crushing it, mixing it into her food, looking around to make sure no one noticed, and then acting out her performance like she was auditioning for a drama award. Evan stared at the screen, jaw clenched. "You picked the wrong diner," he muttered. He downloaded the footage, sent it to the owner, saved it to a flash drive. Then he walked outside to confront Camille, who was still pretending to cry into the phone as police sirens echoed in the distance. When she saw Evan, she straightened confidently. "Good, are you finally firing her? Because I expect full compensation and your public apology. I could sue." "Camille," Evan said softly, "we need to talk." He led her back inside. Customers watched eagerly as Evan placed his phone on her table. He pressed play. Camille froze. On the screen, her snapping at Lila, mocking her, berating her. And then, the moment she pulled something from her purse, crushed it, sprinkled it into her own food, stirred it in, looked around, then screamed like she was dying. The truth captured without mercy. Her face turned white, then red, then a panicked mix of both. This is illegal," she stammered. "You can't record." "It's posted at every entrance," Evan replied calmly. "You walked past the signs. And as you can see, we didn't need to record anything. You recorded yourself." The entire diner stared. Some customers whispered. Others laughed under their breath. Camille shook her head wildly. "Delete it. You can't use that, it's private, it's—" "Ma'am," Evan said, stepping closer, "you tried to frame my employee for a crime. You tried to destroy her life. But you didn't realize something?" He pointed toward a spot behind her. "The police you called? They're here." Camille slowly turned around. 2 officers stood at the door. They approached, watching her carefully. Evan handed them the footage. They watched it silently. Then one officer looked directly at Camille. "Ma'am," he said, "we need you to come with us." "For what?" she screamed. "For filing a false police report," the officer replied. "Attempting to stage evidence. And defamation." Camille's mouth opened, but no sound escaped. She was escorted out of the diner while customers recorded, some clapping, some shaking their heads. The same eyes that watched her perform now watched her fall apart. Inside, Lila stood trembling, overwhelmed, relieved, exhausted. Customers hugged her. A woman with a stroller approached and said, "Honey, I'm so sorry. We saw everything." A man handed her $200. "For the stress. You didn't deserve that." Evan put his hand on her shoulder. You handled yourself with grace. You always do. Later that day, the diner's owner reviewed the footage and immediately gave Lila a raise. A week later, she was promoted to shift supervisor. Camille, meanwhile, couldn't escape her own actions. The videos customers posted spread across town. Her reputation, her carefully crafted persona, crumbled. Her attempts to spin the story failed because the truth was everywhere, in every angle, every recording, every voice. She had tried to weaponize entitlement. But she forgot that the world now watches back. She wanted to ruin someone. Instead, she ruined herself. Because truth doesn't rush. It doesn't panic. It doesn't argue. Truth waits, patiently, recording. And when the right moment comes, it echoes. This was Echoes of Revenge. Where silence speaks louder than anger. And justice always echoes back. Hit like, drop a comment and subscribe for more chilling tales where silence breaks, truth wins and karma never misses.